If you cannot afford this much amount of money to purchase Microsoft Word and also do not want to make Bill Gates even more richer, then this video is just for you. You would be building an interesting and amazing version of Microsoft Word just by using Python. And this is super easy, super fun and super crazy. So let's get started. Before getting into the detail, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Otherwise, grandma will tell Bill Gates that you have been using a pirated version of Windows. To start this project, you will definitely need Python installed in your computer, and you would be using a Python code editor called PyCharm. Once the PyCharm is ready, you will create a new project. And since it would be a different version of Microsoft, that is MS Word, so you will give a name called BS Word. And don't ask me what's the inner meaning of BS Word. We will get to know in a minute. But in the meantime, while PyCharm is getting ready, we will look for a Python package called PyQt5. So we'll just search for PyQt5 and then it will take us to a website where we will just click on this dude to install pip install PyQt5. And we will come back to PyCharm, and once the PyCharm is ready, we will press Ctrl A and hit backspace and click on this guy so that we have pretty much everything available, and then pinch on this terminal and Ctrl V, and that will get us to install PyQt5 for this project. Once the PyQt5 is installed, you will just need few lines of code to create your very basic version of code editor. So very first thing we will do that from pyqt5.qtwidgets and then import everything. That means import star. And inside this we will create a class, and this name would be BS Word. And inside it we will get like Q main window. And after that, every class will need an initialized function. So we'll type def underscore initialize. And inside this, we'll call the super. Super means the parent class of the class that we are creating. So we'll just type super, and then PyCharm will give us some indication to call this guy. We'll just leave it this way. After that, we'll just need 4 lines of code. So I will type like app equals to Q application. And inside this application, we'll pass something called sys and .arc. And after that, we will create our window that would be our project, and this would be our BS Word. And once we have the BS Word, we will just call the window to display it. After that, we will need some way to exit the application. That's why we will type sys exit, and inside it, we will do like f.exit underscore. And that's pretty much it to create a blank window. So once this part is done, all we need to do is to press on this run button, and we will see something smaller like this. But we need a text editor to type something there, and that you can do with just 2 lines of code. And the first thing you will do is to create an editor, and that would be self editor, and in the right side will be Q text edit. Once you have the editor, the next thing is to set the central widget, and this central widget would be the self.editor that you have created. And you got the editor, that means you'd be able to type there, and this is the fun part, but we'll make it even interesting. So far you just wrote like 12 or 15 lines of code, and you can write your text here, and you can warn Bill Gates, hey Bill Gates, or hey Bill, I am coming with BS Word, be careful, or something like this. And you can definitely make it much better, bigger, larger, and all this fancy icon with just few more lines of code. And we will do all these fun things one after another. Now our goal is to make it even bigger, even larger, so that we can scare Mr. Bill Gates. And that's super easy actually. All you need to do is to tell the PyQt5, hey, whatever you are doing this self, just show it in the maximized way. And if you do this and click on this run button, wow, this will be even bigger. And if you don't want to see the Python written here, you can definitely set the title. So you can say like a self and then set title, and this will give you the title that you want to do. The set window title and my BS Word or something like this. And if you click on this run button, you'll see like a my BS Word. And in the next part of this video, our mission is to add some fancy feature so that it becomes really powerful text editor. And that is called rich editor. And this is so much rich that by making this, Bill Gates becomes the richest person in the world. And even if you cannot open the MS Word because you cannot pay for it, you can actually go to drive.google. So drive.google.com, and there you can get a similar pattern of a word. So if I click on here and then if I open a new doc, and you will see it has few title and then it has a lot of interesting buttons that make it interesting. That means if you type something here and if you don't like it, you can do some undo action, you can do some redo action, you can do some bold, italic, you can have some font size, you can have change some fonts, you can do some alignment and all these cool things. And we will be doing most of it right now. So the first thing we will be doing some thing like undo action. And you see that there is a bar here, and this is called toolbar. And our task is to create a toolbar to make it fancier. And for that purpose, we will declare a new function, and it would be create toolbar. And inside this toolbar, we will create definitely a toolbar. That's why this is called toolbar, and that would be Q toolbar. And after we have this toolbar, we can tell, hey, self, you need to add a toolbar, and this would be your toolbar variable. And the last thing you have to tell this initialize, hey, you need to call the create toolbar. And if you do so and click on this run button, you will see a tiny thing here, and this guy doesn't have any icon or anything like this. And we will need to put some icon, put some action there. So let's start the action first. So what I will do, I will create a variable called undo action, and this would be your Q action. And inside this, you will give some name, the name of the action. Here it would be like undo action, and you will give the current parent of this action. And after that, you will tell the undo action whenever this is triggered. That means somebody calls this one, get rid of this function call, and you need to connect it with the self.editor, whatever the editor that we have created right here, and it has some undo functionalities. Don't call the function, just provide the name. And the last part you will do, tell the toolbar, hey toolbar, you need to add some action, and this action is your undo action. And if you do until this part and stop this guy and then click on this run, you'll see a tiny undo here, and you will have some tiny text like my text here. And if you have really hard time to see it, we can solve this problem easily. We can tell here, hey, this editor you are creating here, hey, self.editor, you need to set font point size, and the font size could be 20, something like this. So now this text should be bigger and larger, because everything we like bigger and larger, and we don't want to implant some silicon to make it bigger and larger. We can do just writing Python. So Python is way cheaper than silicon. So we click on this. Now if I start typing, you see things are even bigger. And now we can say, hey, Bill Gates, I am typing and inside my BS Word, something like this. And if you want to get rid of some text, now this button can get rid of the last thing you typed. So I click on this undo, you see this line is gone. If I do undo, another one is gone. Whatever I have done, that is gone. That means my undo action is working. So much fun. We can actually put some fancier icon there, then we can do like undo, redo, and some cool things. And if you need some icon, I will put some icon in my GitHub repository. So you will get the link in the description. And before downloading those links, please thumbs up this video, write a fancy comment for us, and also don't forget put a star in the repo. So I have copied all the images needed for this project. So I will go to the project and right click on here, and then you will see open in Explorer. That means I am opening the files and projects for this project, and all are here, and I will just paste all the images right here. And once I have those, I can actually tell, hey, other than just typing the image, you can do some fancy thing. And that fancy thing would be Q icon. And you will not see the Q icon because you need to import some GUI thing. So we can easily do that here from PyQt5, and then you need this Qt GUI and you need to import everything. And once you import everything from the GUI, you will have this Q icon, and then you can tell, hey, I need this undo.png. That's the icon we just copied from the project. You have something like undo.png. And once we have this, we can stop this dude and then click on this done button, and you'll see this fancy icon of undoing is here. And if you can type again, say typing again or again and again, and I want to get rid of my X, like your X, you want to get rid of X. All you need to do is to create an undo button and click on this, your X is gone, right? It's that easy to break up anyway. And with the similar power of undo, you can actually do the redo action. And redo would be even much easier if you can do some copy paste. And we will do some easier and fancier way. So I select these 3 lines and then I press Ctrl D. That means all these lines are copied here. But right now I want to use the redo, and for that purpose I will press Ctrl R. R means like replace, and whatever the text is selected here, instead of undo, I want to replace the undo by redo only the selected lines. So here I want to get rid of undo. You see these are the all undo, and I want to write redo. And if I press on this replace all, wow, you see everything is changed. And since I have everything working nicely, I can actually make it working right away. So I click on this, you see this is undo and redo. So you are my X, I need a newer one, and that could be Y or could be Z or whatever you want. So you want to get rid of X, but you need Y because you don't want to be lonely, right? So if I undo, obviously my last line is gone, and then this line is gone, and then this line is gone. And if I want to bring back my Y or bring back my X because I am lonely, all I need to do is to click on this redo. That means X is back. And if you want more, you need another one. That line is back. That means you can bring back or go back. This undo and redo, whatever we have been seeing in Google Doc, these 2 functionalities implemented in a very, very easier way. And we can do much more fun things just by writing few lines of Python. And if you can do easily some copy paste like this way. So very similar to undo and redo, you can do much more functionality in a word processor. And that could be your cut, copy, and then paste, right? And we will do exactly the same way. So for example, we have all this undo, right? We copy this one, we need cut, copy, and then paste. That means we need 3 things. I copy this one, Ctrl C, and then I paste this dude, and I paste this dude, and then I paste this dude. So that's one would be cut, one would be copy, one would be the paste. And we just select this dude as usual, and here instead of undo, maybe make the first one as your cut, and this would be getting rid of some text, and the second one would be your copy. So instead of undo, you will replace by copy, and we will replace everything, and then here instead of your undo, this would be your paste. Since I have all these images, this works like a charm, right? The magic of copy paste. So I stop this dude, and then I run here, and you will see cut, copy, paste. Even if you want a breakage in between, you can easily do that, and you can tell here, hey, after this toolbar, whatever the toolbar, you need to add a separator. And if you want more than one separator, you can press Ctrl D. And now if you run it, you will see there is actually a dividing between, this is a one group of actions and this is another group of actions. And the fun part is And now you can get rid of any annoying friends. So now you can get rid of your annoying friends who wants to borrow money from you, who wants to get your books, or even get your girlfriend. You can actually get rid of that annoying person. And for that purpose, you will just select the annoying friends and crack, that friend is gone. And even if you want this fun friend or maybe some hot friend you have and you want to get more of those, you can just select and then you just copy. That means you have a copy of your hot friend and new line you can paste. And if you need more hot friend, you can just paste as much as you need it. So this is super simple way. Actually, if you look into the code, all we are doing is to creating an action. This is a queue action, and we have some icon that we get from flat icon or anywhere you can get those. You see, you have this like here, your cart, copy, and the paste PNG. Exactly similar way you have undo, and the similar way you have like a redo.png. And once you have those, actually, you just created this icon and you are telling this icon whenever this icon or this action is triggered, you need to do some operation on the editor. And then you just add it to the toolbar. That's pretty much it. And that gives you the power of these icons. And you can even add much more icons here. So let's do little more fun. And this would be like a font size that you want to change. So we are adding a separator. Maybe we are adding one extra separator. And now we would be working with the font size. If you look into this Google Doc, you see they have like some way you can change the font size of the selected text. And we want to have the similar font. And for that purpose, we actually need to do few stuff. And the first thing we will do here is to create self.font size. And then this is actually a box. And you will say like a Q spin box. That means the value inside the box could spin, something like this. And once you create the spin box, you can do much more stuff here, and then eventually you can add it to the toolbar. Now you will do some operation on the font size box. So you'll call the self font size box, and you want to set the value. And the set value is just the value you want to set on the box, which is 20. So that it matches the initial values that you set here, the font size, and the box will show exactly the same values. And once you have that, you have to tell this box whenever this value is changed, you need to call a specific function. And you can tell like, hey, whenever self.font size box, its value is changed, you need to connect to some actions. And that connection could be a function that you will be written. And let's write this function first at the bottom here. And this will be your defining a new function, set font size, something like this. And inside it, you will get the value from this self.font size box dot value. And you are getting this value from this font size box, and eventually you will set that value as the text editor font size. So you'll tell the self.editor and then set font size, and that would be the whatever the value you get from there. And you created this function, very simple function indeed, set font size. So you can come back here and tell this font size box to connect with this function. So you can easily type self.set font size. Don't call the function, just write the name. And the last thing you need to tell the toolbar, hey toolbar, you need to add a widget this time, and that would be your self.font size box. That's pretty much it. And if you click on this done button, you will see a cool spinner here actually. So you can increase or decrease the values like this way. If you want, you can type some values like 45 inside it, it will do some cool magic for here. And you can just type here, look mama, because it's 45, I can be bigger. And if you want a smaller size, you can just type here, I want 15 or something like this. And you can write here that this is size 15. And if you fond of like some interesting size, that could be some size of something like this. I don't know whether it has some special meaning or not, but this is another size, right? This is another size right here. And if you want only this some part of word or some word to be have a different size, you can definitely select and highlight it and then click on this guy, and you'll see this will get increased. If you want like even bigger, like maybe 85, you can make it 85 bigger. So you could have much more granular control of the font size. And not only the font size, you can create similar way some combo box that will have different fonts, like whether you can do Arial, Times New Roman, or sans serif, or Comic Sans, whatever the font you want, you can easily do all this cool part with just 5-6 lines of Python. Now we will do an interesting part. Because if you go to any of this text editor, you will see a drop-down menu like this: file, edit, view, and so many of those. And creating those is actually super easy because you have some power of Python. And to do so, let's see whether we need to do is to create another method here. So we will declare def create menu bar. And once you have this, inside it you can create a menu bar, and this would be menu bar, and on the right side Q menu bar. And once you have this menu bar, you will tell the self, the current instance, hey, you need to set menu bar, and this menu would be just this menu bar. And right now this menu bar would be empty, and the final thing would be self dot call this create menu bar. And if you have this, you will see you have like a tiny stuff. Currently you see there's nothing in between. If you close this dude and then you run it, you will see some tiny, or you might not see that tiny part, but don't worry, you will see it very soon. So first thing we'll do, we'll create a file menu, and we'll call this is file menu. On the right side is Q menu. And once you have this Q menu, you need to give it a name, and this would be the name of file. And then on this side, you will tell the current instance, which is the self. And after that, you will tell the menu bar, hey, menu bar, you need to add a menu, and this add menu is the file menu. And if you do so, you run this guy, you'll see file is here. Right now, nothing inside the file, but at least you got this file, and you can similar way create, edit, view, and all these things. All you have to do is to select this dude, something like this, press Ctrl D, and then if you want to replace it, here you have like file, and you want to replace it like this is your edit, and you can do replace all edit, and the similar way you can do like a view and all other stuff. So Ctrl D, and here you have maybe edit, and you want to replace edit like this would be the value of view. And if you do this, you will have like 3 options. And if you want to change it to like an uppercase E and then uppercase V, you close this guy, you run this, voila, you have like file, edit, and view. And if you want to add some action inside it, you can obviously do that. So what would be a cool, exciting menu options here? And you will always see like some boring options. So for example, they have like a share, new, open. Yes, we can do all this stuff, of course. But one exciting thing would be exporting your document as a PDF. So let's get started with that one. And to do so, we'll come back here and we'll say like, hey, we need a save as PDF action. So this would be save as PDF action, and its value would be Q action, like the action we have done before. And if you don't want to give an icon, you can just give some name like a save as PDF, and then right side you will give the instant of the self. And once ever save as PDF action is triggered, and after that you can connect to a specific function, and we will write this function right here. So where we have this set font size, we can do a def this is like a save as PDF, and inside it we will do some work. For right now we just put pass right here. So here what we have, this will say like a self dot save as PDF. We don't call the function, just write the name. And eventually you will tell, hey, file menu, you need to add an action, and that action would be your save as PDF action. And if we do this, you can actually either print to see whether this is getting some output or not, or you can just see it whether you have this in the drop down options. So you click on this and you have a save as PDF option, and right now it's not doing anything, but it will do in a moment. So to save some file in your computer, you need to open a dialog, and that dialog will ask you to find out the location you want to save and give some name. And doing so is actually super easy than you can imagine, because you have Python. And here all we need to do is to call like say file location or file name or file path, whatever the name you want to give. And this actually comes with like a to return variable. So we'll put like something underscore that actually we're not going to use it. And on the right side, you will call queue file dialog, and from the file dialog, you will say like get the save file name. And to get the save file name, you will need to pass few things. And first one is the current instance. And then after that, if you want to pass some parent, and you will pass this parent, or you will pass the name of the dialog, this would be open, and it would be export PDF. And after that, if you want to give some caption, that's fine, you can give. Otherwise, you can tell this would be none. And eventually, you would tell that what type of files you want to open. And you can say like, I want to open only PDF files. And you can actually tell star, that means every .pdf. Say whatever the PDF files is available on that directory, those files would only be displayed. And after that, you will do something with it. So let's give this up to a shot and then see whether this works. So I have this, I click on this guy and save as PDF, a dialog open and name is export PDF. And here I don't have any PDF, and you see the PDF files only start.pdf would be displayed. And if I go to my download folder, you see a lot of PDF or the folders is only displayed. Nothing else is getting displayed. So that's good. We all need to do a little bit extra work to make it working for us. To save PDF by using this PyQt5, you will need to import a special thing. And for that purpose, you will say like a from PyQt5, and then if you type print, and it will tell you Qt print support, and you import everything from there. Once you have this import everything right here, all you need to do add few lines of code. And the first thing is to declare a variable called printer, and its value would be qprinter, and you need to provide a parameter, that mode of the printer, and this will be qprinter, and then you will pass the high resolution. Once you have this printer declared, now you have to tell it what would be the format it would be exporting. So you set like printer dot set output format, and that would be qprinter dot PDF format. That means you are telling to export as a PDF format. And once that is done, you will call the printer, hey, set output file name. This is the file name that you got. This is actually the file path. So you'll pass the file path. And the very last line you need to write is to call the editor, because you need to get everything on there. That means you'll get the editor, all the document, and you will call it to the print, and this time it will print whatever the printer you are providing. That's pretty much it. So this is the moment of truth to check whether our code is actually working or not. So I'm very nervous, but let's give it a shot. So I will definitely stop this code and click on this run. That means it's compiled correctly, and I can type something that this is my own PDF, and I can warn Bill Gates, hey Bill Gates, your gate is closed. And this would be my own gate forever, my own gate forever. And if you want to save it as a PDF, I'm going there and click on the PDF. So I see the dialog, which is good. Maybe I will save it in the download folder. So here, this is the name I will be giving, like first ever PDF.pdf. And I click on the save. And looks like it's working, but let's go to the download folder, and I see this file, and let's open this dude. Oh yes, it worked actually. So this is the enjoyable moment. This is the fun moment that your code actually worked, and you have created your own PDF by writing code yourself. And definitely your code could have a lot of formatting. Say for example, the gate of Bill Gates, you want to do, maybe it's a bigger, maybe this is like 30. And maybe this part, maybe this my gate should be even bigger than Bill Gates, right? Why not? Because I have this my gate, so this is 50. And if you want, you can actually copy this line, and then here you can even paste it multiple times, and let's see whether this fancy gate, your gate or my gate, is working or not. Maybe make this my as like font 80, something like this. So now I am doing another test, save as PDF, and this will be the download folder, second pdf.pdf, and then you save this guy. Let's go to the folder, and I see the second PDF, which is definitely a good sign, and wow, this formatting is also working. So until now, we actually wrote close to 60-70 lines of code with all these white spaces, and it wasn't a hard code, rather similar code is repeating again and again. And you got to know that this is super easy to build something very similar to word processor. And if you spend a few more minutes, then you would be able to get very close to this. I actually did work until this point, and in the GitHub repository, you will see another file called main_complete, and that will give you a complete feature very similar to this, where you will be able to like open, close, save as, edit actions, view options, zoom in, zoom out, and a lot of crazy things. So I definitely encourage you to go there, put a star on our GitHub. And if you enjoyed this video, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and write some fancy grandma comment, because grandma will put some heart for you. And if you don't do that, she will complain about you to Mr. Gates. And if you like our work, I will highly encourage you to check out our fancy Android app called Programming Hero, and there you would be able to learn Python in a fun and amazing way. We also have some other interesting courses. And if you are a rich dude and using an iPhone, don't worry, we have an iPhone version as well. And that's all from this video. Your grandma and I will see you in the next video.